What are we looking for? Dogs.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Bird, and we back on Bird's Eye View with it. Like always, appreciate the love and support. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Stop what you're doing. Smash the like button, smash subscribe button. Hop in the comment section, comment whatever you want. Of course, I'm dropping daily bangers day by day. You know, we got news of the day coming out of Colorado. We're going to jump right into it, though. So, of course, we back with another recap with this Colorado football program. As always, shout out Well Off Media, Reach the People Media, the pregame show for providing us phenomenal footage each and every day. Also, big shout out to our media team, our Colorado football media team on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere you can find them at, man. They do a phenomenal job putting this content together as well, too, man. Definitely salute to CU Buffs media team as well. Hey, of course, I'm going to bring you guys the projected starter videos like I do each and every season. This is year 3 of me covering this Colorado football program, and this is the 3rd year that I've brought you the projected offensive and defensive starters. Of course, we're going to start on the offensive side of the ball with this video here. I will bring the defensive starter video soon as well, too, likely the end of this week. But of course, we have a lot of battles when it comes to each position. And of course, we're going to start with QB1, Kaidon Salter. We all know about the 4-star quarterback, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Cedar Hills, Texas, Liberty transfer. Of course, was a top 10 quarterback in the country in that 2021 class, committed to Tennessee, competed in the spring, then transferred to Liberty. Of course, he saw limited action with the Flames in 21 and 22. He then burst on the scene in 2023. Group of 5 National Player of the Year, Group of 5 First Team All-American, Conference USA First Team, 2-time Earl Campbell National Player of the Week. Of course, he was a Maxwell Award semifinalist. As we all know, he was also the MVP for that Conference USA Championship game as well, too. He was the only Group of 5 player on the Maxwell semifinal list. Of course, 4-time Conference Player of the Week. He led the Flames to their first ever perfect regular season. Of course, he had 11 games with at least 2 passing touchdowns, 4 100-yard rushing games that season. He had the most rushing yards in a season by a quarterback in Liberty's history. He also set the school record for passing touchdowns in a season. He was 3rd in the nation in rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. He had the 3rd highest passing efficiency in the nation as well, too. His career, right? 35 games, over 2,000 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns, another 6,000 yards passing, 56 touchdowns, only 17 interceptions in his career. Of course, he's going to bring a different dynamic to this offense, one that we haven't had, right? Of course, we're expecting him to be able to do some things with his legs, also with his arm as well, too. This is the best offensive line he's had. This is the best wide receiving core he's had. Welcome your QB1, Kaidon Salter. Let's keep it rolling, dog. The Kalen Taylor at running back. Listen, man, I battled going through him, Michael Welch, Dylan Hayden. At the end of the day, this is my running back 1, man. 5'10", $170 out of Longview, Texas. Of course, Incarnate Word transfer. Speed on top of speed on top of speed. Grab a little bit more speed. This is lightning, dog, in a bottle. This man got burners. Do you understand me? Listen, man, he got some things you just can't teach. You either got it or you don't. And he has the ability to make people miss in open space. He is tough to land a clean hit on. And he is a legit 4-3 type of guy, right? And Incarnate Word last season rushed for almost 1,000 yards, had 9 touchdowns. He moved the ball in all different areas, right? Receiving, punt return, kick return. He had 22 catches last year. He had 19 punt returns, 286 yards. He had a touchdown there as well, too. Was first team all conference. He was also first team all academic as well, too. Definitely love that. He is going to bring a dynamic very similar, right, to what we saw with Dylan Edwards, right? Similar type of back. But I love this young man's game here. And like I said, he just has something that you just cannot teach, dog. And like I said, I went back and forth. I mean, back and forth, dog, between him, Michael Welch, Dylan Hayden, who I would assume will be my running back 1. Again, this is just my opinion, but this is who I expect us to roll out week 1 against Georgia Tech, and I'm not mad at it at all because they're going to have to figure out a way to contain him. As long as we can open up run lanes up front, obviously that's going to be important, right? Track star guy as well, too, ran track at Incarnate Word. As long as we can open up run lanes for this young man here, he is going to make a lot of plays, and he's going to be tough to land a clean hit on as well. And we're going to be able to use him in the return game if we see fit as well too. Be excited for DeKalen Taylor. Got a track hawk there. Keep it rolling, man. Omarion Miller. We all know about the wide receiver, 6'2", 200 pounds, out of Vivian, Louisiana. Of course, committed to this Colorado football program. He had offers all over the nation, right? Of course, played in 10 games as a true freshman in 2023. We all know he burst on the scene in that USC game where he had 7 catches, a $196 for to see that. He is one of them ones, dog. I believe in Omarion Miller. Let's keep it rolling, dog. Joseph Williams. We all know about the wide receiver, 6'2", 200 pounds, out of Arlington, Texas, Tulsa transfer. Of course, a high pointer of the football, displays good ability, good hands, good ability to track the football in the air as well too. In 2024, of course, we all know he was AAC Freshman of the Year, averaged 19.6 yards per catch, had 30 catches, 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. Of course, this young man, hit the transfer portal. He had offers, right, all over the country. There was interest. Let's not forget that interest list that Joseph Williams had when he hit the transfer portal. There was a lot of schools that wanted the services of this young man here. Of course, he committed to Utah briefly, then of course flipped that commitment to this Colorado football program. Love this get here. Love what we've been seeing out of him already since he stepped down in Boulder. I mean, he has big play ability written all over him. He has red zone mismatch written all over him. Of course, we had to replace a guy like Will Shepherd. Salute to Will Shepherd, just signing with the Packers. We had to replace a guy like Will Shepherd, and we did that here with Joseph Williams. He's been putting his ability on display in practice in the spring game. I mean, he's been high-pointing footballs. He's been one-handed catches. I mean, he's been making a lot of plays, and he's going to continue to do so for this Colorado football program. Be excited for Joseph Williams. Of course, this was another hard one, right? I mean, we got so many wide receivers, dog. I mean, I battled back and forth with who I was going to put in the starting lineup when it comes to the wide receivers, right? I know we got Sincere Brown, right? I know we got Hakeem Williams, right? And we can play on the outside as well. But in my opinion, Omarion Miller and Joseph Williams are the 2 wide receivers that I would roll out there against Georgia Tech. In the slot, right, we have Draylen Miller. Of course, we all know about the wide receiver, right, coming out of Silsbee, Texas, 6'1", 200-pound sophomore, played in all 13 games as a true freshman, starting in 3 of those games. Of course, made plays all over the field when he had opportunities, right? 32 catches, 277 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. He also had 4 rushes for 10 yards as well too. Of course, we all know he scored his first touchdown against Arizona, had another touchdown again against Kansas as well too. Of course, he had his first 100-yard game, right, against Utah. I was there in attendance for that game. That's the game right there, right? He had 6 catches, 108 yards, and 1 touchdown. Draylen Miller, dog, is a special player. Let's not forget he was a top 10 overall player in the state of Texas. He was one of the best wide receivers in the country. He could have went anywhere in the nation, chose this Colorado football program. Draylen Miller is a special player, dog, and he is going to start in the slot for me, and he is going to continue to be able to make plays for this Colorado Buffaloes offense. I'm excited to see the next step that he takes in his game during his sophomore campaign, but he got a lot of experience as a true freshman and is only going to continue to grow and get better for that young man. Let's keep rolling, man. Tight end 1, and of course, we got Zach Atkins. We all know about the tight end, 6'4", 245 out of the state of Kansas, Northwest Missouri State transfer. He was at a Division II school this past season, a well put together tight end whose size and athletic ability is very intriguing. He's a really good athlete as well. I know he was a wide receiver in high school, converted to a tight end when he got to college. Of course, catches the football very well and then still has speed and explosiveness after the catch. Of course, the testament of hard work, right? Like I said, he was a wide receiver, didn't have any offers, right? Went to the D2 ranks, turned into a tight end, hit the transfer portal, right? He was one of the most sought after tight ends in the country, right? And when he hit the transfer portal, I mean, he had SEC offers. I mean, you think about over 20 offers when he hit the portal. He had schools like Arkansas, Ole Miss, South Carolina that were after the services of this young man. Of course, he ultimately committed to this Colorado football program. Love the fact that we have a legit tight end here. In my opinion, right, this is no knock to the other tight ends that we had within this program. This is no knock to them at all. But in my opinion, this is the best tight end that Coach Prime has had in his tenure in Colorado. This young man here can do a lot of great things well. He has a lot of tools that you need to be successful. He can block, he can catch, he can run routes, he can find ways to get open, he can find a soft spot in the zone to sit and be able to catch the football. He does some great things well, and we have our tight end one with Zach Atkins. Let's switch over to the Hogs, dog, and of course we got to start with our superstar offensive lineman, Jordan Seaton. We all know about the 6'5", 300-pound offensive lineman out of Washington, D.C. Of course, came in, started as a true freshman, plug-and-play day one guy. We all know freshman All-American offensive tackle according to PFF, 247 and on 3 as well. Of course, he was all Big 12 honorable mention as a freshman. Of course, he was CFN Big 12 Freshman of the Year. He was Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year, watch lister and semi-finalist as well too. Of course, this young man lived up, right? He was everything as advertised. Of course, we're expecting him to be a future first-round pick. He looks so much better this year already than he did last year. And it's crazy to think that he had a true freshman All-American year and that he's just going to continue to get better. I mean, his body, his mental, everything just looks completely different, dog. He looks like he is in a completely different mindset this year, and he is looking to do damage, and he will. This is one of the best offensive linemen, if not the best offensive lineman in the country, and he plays in Boulder, Colorado. He is going to be a first-round guy. I cannot wait to see him continue to develop and take his game to the next level. Jordan Seaton is your left tackle. Let's keep it going to left guard, right? We have Xavier Hill, right? The offensive lineman, 6'4", 320, out of Olive Branch, Mississippi, Memphis transfer. Started his career off at LSU. This young man last year, right? First team All-AAC, was the best offensive lineman on Memphis team last year. Of course, this young man, versatile offensive lineman. He played a team high 916 offensive snaps for the Tigers last season. He was their highest graded player on PFF with an 84. He played left guard and right tackle. Of course, I have him playing left guard here next to Seaton. Of course, this young man had a pass blocking grade of 86.4, run blocking grade of 81.6. A dominant offensive lineman. That's a pro. We have 2 pros on that left side of the line. Let's keep it rolling, dog. At center, Zarian McGill, 6'2", 310, out of Taylorsville, Mississippi, La Tech transfer. Started his career off at Jones Community College there at JUCO. He then transferred to Louisiana Monroe in 2022. Started all 12 games, had 450 pass blocking snaps, only gave up 2 sacks, only had 2 penalties. Of course, this young man here against Bama, right? His pass blocking grade against Alabama, 75.5. And he had 29 pass blocking snaps in that game. Didn't give up a pressure, didn't give up a hurry, didn't give up a sack, no penalties as well too. In 2023, he continued to blossom, right? Pass blocking grade was 77.4. Of course, in 2024, he improved in all areas. He had 4 games where his pass blocking grade was over 81. 2 of them were over 84, right? One of those games were against ACC foe North Carolina State. He only had 1 penalty all year last season. Over 1,900 career snaps, only 6 penalties. Over 1,100 pass blocking snaps, only 5 sacks given up. I love what he's going to bring to our offensive line at center. He's going to be the leader that we need in the middle. Let's keep it rolling, dog. At right guard rollout on Saturdays. I'm excited for it. Last but certainly not least, at right tackle, Larry Johnson III, 6'7", 345, out of the state of Georgia. Of course, Tennessee transfer, started his career off at the JUCO ranks as well too. He was at Hutchinson Community College. He was the number 2 JUCO offensive tackle in the country in 2022. Committed to Tennessee, right? He was mainly a reserve offensive tackle, played in 4 games in 2023. In 2024, similar role as well too. Of course, this young man hit the transfer portal looking for a new home. Of course, you see his JUCO tape here. This, size, length immediately stands out on tape. Play strength as well. Played 23 clean snaps at left tackle for Tennessee when they beat UTEP this past season. He also saw his most action against number 15 Oklahoma as well too. Played 41 clean snaps at left tackle against the Sooners. He was Tennessee's highest graded offensive lineman according to PFF for that game. He did not allow any pressures against Oklahoma, again a top 15 team in the country. He also didn't allow any pressures in 31 offensive snaps against Kent State as well too. He also had 32 offensive snaps at left tackle in the season opening win for Tennessee. They played Chattanooga. So he played a lot of left tackle, right, at Tennessee. Obviously, he's going to be our right tackle with this Colorado football program. And just think about the size that we have on this offensive line now, right? With Larry Johnson III looking at 6'7", 345, right? Zy Chrysler, 6'6", right, 335. Jordan Seaton, 6'5", he's 300 pounds now. Of course, you look at Xavier Hill, right, 6'4", he's 320, right? You look at, Zarian McGill, he's also about 300 pounds as well, too. I mean, we have 300-pound offensive linemen across the board, experience all the way across the board, guys that were successful at their previous institutions. Like I said, this is going to be the best offensive line, in my opinion, that we've had in Boulder, Colorado. So, of course, this is my projective offensive starters video. I know, man, it was tough for me because especially at wide receiver and running back, right? Really at wide receiver, though. I mean, when you think based off of my projections, right, Sincere Brown, Hakeem Williams in the 2 deep, right? You got Quanell X, who was a superstar true freshman, in my opinion. Cam Michael, who's waiting for have a breakout year. You still got Terrell Timmons Jr., right? And then you got Jack Costera in the slot, Quentin Gibb in the slot, throw Isaiah Harge in the mix as well, too. I mean, we got a great problem to have offensively with this Colorado football program, and I can't wait to see it all transpire. I will drop the defensive projected starters video as well this weekend, but not gonna keep it long. Just want to bring you guys another phenomenal update. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what time it is, dog. Bird's eye view, man.